Namaste. Guruji says, Guru is one in whom we see none and everyone. Today is Guru Purnima, an auspicious day for seekers, and Darpan Foundation welcomes all to this special edition of Upanishad with Guruji Shri Nandkishore Tiwari, Propounder, Sahaj Smriti Yog system of self-realization, and Dr. David Frawley, a well-known Vedic scholar and founder of the American Institute of Vedic Studies. India has always been a land of seekers with a tradition of asking questions, and questions have always been encouraged. The word Upanishad is made up of two words, Upa and Nishad, meaning sitting beside. Traditionally, seekers looking for knowledge would sit beside Guru and ask their questions. And that is the very essence of our Upanishads. Maximum seekers, maximum seeking is our motto. Guruji Shri Nandkishore Tiwari propounded Sahaj Smriti Yog system of self-realization along with Sahaj Smriti Kriya, an absolutely effortless method to explore unexplored dimensions of one's existence. A path easy to follow along with the busy family life. Guruji established the Universal Forum for Human Dignity in 2002 and founded Darpan Sahaj Smriti Yog Ashram at Kurigam in 2018. Under Guruji's guidance, Darpan Foundation also works in the areas of sustainable living, education, conservation of nature, health, sanitation, social transformation projects. We have touched the lives of 2,000 plus students, 4,000 plus villages, and 11 schools. Dr. Frawley, also known as Pandit Vamadeva Shastri, a well-known Vedacharya, is the author of over 35 published books available in more than 20 languages worldwide. Notably, he has produced definitive texts in several fields including yoga, Ayurveda, Vedanta, Vedic astrology, etc. In India, Dr. Frawley's translations and interpretations of the ancient Vedic teachings have been acclaimed in both spiritual and scholarly circles. In addition, he writes regularly for various publications and the social media on educational issues in India and the importance of Vedic knowledge for the entire world. In 2015, Dr. Frawley was conferred with the prestigious Padma Bhushan for his distinguished service of a higher order to the nation. Let us commence today's Upanishad and explore the significance and the relevance of Guru Purnima in present times. Audience, do feel free to ask your questions via Zoom audio or the chat box on Zoom and Facebook. Guruji will be addressing the questions as time permits. We are sharing the links to our Facebook and YouTube page. Request all to subscribe to the channel. The recording of this Upanishad will be shared on those channels. Before handing over to our host, Dr. Frawley, I request Guruji to kindly say a few words.
Thank you, Marilynji. Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptamayena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sangachadham Samvadadham Samvo Mananshi Janatam Deva Bhage Yatha Purve Shangyana Upashate Shusrusa Sravanam Grahanam Chatharanam Tatha Uhapoha Arthavigyanam Tattva-gyanam Dhi-gunaham. avatu bhaktaram, avatu mam, avatu bhaktaram. Harihi Om. Every movement is auspicious movement. But when we are into satsang, but we have certain days because today humanity is forgetting its real nature. They are not remembering their real self. So our seers and saints have devised certain days so that at least in those days we can remind ourselves who we are. So today, let me express my thank to Sahaj Smriti Yogis. First, those who are doing this regularly, they are organizing with so much effort these Upanishads. Even in these days when we cannot physically congregate, they are doing it online. So it is a very good job that they are doing, and I am thankful for providing this opportunity so that we can speak to the whole world. I am especially thankful to Dr. Frawley, Pandit Vamadeva Shastri, we call him here, and I personally call him Panditji, that he has accepted Darpan Foundation's invitation to host this Upanishad, and deep into the night in the west where he is sitting right now. From there, he and me will be looking into the same direction of spirituality, of Purva, which we call. He is dear to me because two things that we value in this country is women and Guru. And one of the India's daughter, Shambhaviji, has chosen him or accepted him. That is their private matter, whether chosen or accepted. So, but I am grateful that way that one of our daughter has chosen him as husband, which is that makes him our own of this land. So, coming back to the topic of the day, when we speak of Guru, because this is Guru Purnima, so it is also called Vyasa Purnima, it is also called Buddha Purnima because it is celebrated in Sanatana Parampara, in Jaina Parampara, in Buddha Parampara. Vyasa was born this day. He started dictating Mahabharata this day. Mahavir Jain made his first disciple this day. Gautam Buddha, in Buddhist tradition also, this is considered an auspicious day. Now, how to see a guru? There are two things. Why Sahaj Smriti Yog primarily considers its duty to manifest and establish Sanatan Guru Parampara. Because in a Mundak Upanishad, if you remember, there is one sloka which says, nothing that is eternal can be attained to by nothing that is not eternal. Now, how to keep this eternity in constant flow? That is where the role of the living Guru Parampara comes. Because only from a lit lamp, another lamp can be lit. So primarily it is Sanatana Guru Parampara, and those who follow it, those are called Sanatan Dharmis. Though they are sadhaks, and the way they live their life, that is called Sanatan Dharma. So it is a way of life in that sense. Suppose there is no living Guru and no living disciple, how will it survive the Dharma? So it is primarily Sanatan Guru Parampara. And This is the way to let it stay in the humanity. In this sense, living Guru becomes a necessity, an essential, and whole Sanatana word, when we say, the whole Sanatana word came later, but whole through the Vedic tradition, if you see, then this thing you will find always. That living Guru has been in the central position, but it should be remembered that it is not referring to the Guru Puja. No Guru worth his salt will ever say that this is for my puja. In fact, we say in our spiritual tradition, the moment this idea crosses your head that you are a Guru, you are gone. You are not even a sadhak. So Sanatana Guru Parampara, because it has to be upholded, the eternal tattva, that is why it has to be upholded through chain, through river, through flow, through pravaha. And that happens through Guru Parampara. That is why Sahaj Smriti Yog system very clearly enunciates that if it has to survive, then it has to survive across all religions. All the religions, they will find no problem if Sanatan Guru Parampara is understood correctly. They will find their root, yes, this is how it is. If the light has not continuously been lit, then how it is going to exist? And that is the very meaning of what Mundak Upanishad says. So any dialogue which is happening between a living Guru and a disciple, that is considered Upanishad. And that is how the Upanishad have come about. So there were as many Upanishads, as many there were disciples and gurus. But because that much we could not keep in text form, is still more than thousands are there. Then they came, somebody compiled in 300 and something. Then main 10, 12 we are considering, because we want to just indicate that how that parampara stays here and now. That is the purpose. How to keep that seeking element alive. Then all the differences which humanity is facing will go, because when you are seeker of the truth, what is Guru Parampara saying? Guru Parampara is simply saying we can come on same page only when we are seeking the truth. Your and my truth will definitely be different, because in spiritual tradition we say you and I are the truth. Anything truth other than this is truer in comparison to that, how much truth we ourselves have become. So truth is by definition has to be different. But Satyam ekam vipra bahuda vadanti, there is also there. That means when we ourselves find that my truth can be nestled into a greater truth, and that comes to our heart, at that time it is not by some compulsion, it is by discovering our essential nature. That is where the love comes. So Sanatan Guru Parampara is the custodian and carrier of the light of that truth, without which there will be darkness. And the way to that is truth and wisdom. That is why we say Satyam Param Dhimahi. That ultimate way to discover the truth goes through wisdom. Who on earth will say that I don't want to become wise? And nothing else Guru Parampara is saying. It is saying just how your intelligence shines forth as wisdom. That is the way of the Guru Shishya Parampara. Who is going to say, no, we don't want wisdom? If there is wisdom, then all divine qualities and human qualities will find themselves in a sangam inside the human heart. And that is where humanity will manifest divinity, and divinity will manifest in human heart as divinity. And that is the divinization of man that the earth is craving for. Because earth, we consider earth living here. See, it's always an issue here when we start a dialogue where to begin from. Should we begin from Panjaya, when the earth was one? That makes us all inhabitants of the same earth. So what if the time has separated us into different land masses? But that gives us different identities. So gradually, by acquiring knowledge, we have to accommodate all identities and reach to our ultimate identities, where we feel one. We see everyone as one and none as the one, so that our egos don't clash. And when egos are not clashing at highest places, believe me, the earth will become itself the heaven. You need not discover heavens anywhere else. It is the ego at the highest places and ignorance in other places that is giving way to such quarrels. Otherwise, we are born divine. That divinity has to manifest itself. And that is what Guru Parampara is. So we salute this Guru Parampara by taking part into it, by accepting it as part of our life, and by discovering ourselves that what kind of wonders are waiting for us if we go in humble way through this. So with these words, I will hand it over to Panditji, Pandit Vamadeva Shastri, Dr. Frawley, as we know him, and then we will continue. Please be free for your questions also. Yes, just.
Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om. It is my great honor to be with you, Nandkishore Guruji, on this auspicious day of Guru Purnima, when we honor all the Gurus and we honor the universal Guru. There are so many traditions that honor their own teacher, prophet, savior, whoever it may be. But in the Sanatana tradition, we honor all Gurus and we honor everything ultimately as the Guru. And we see the Guru in all beings, all things. We also honor our special living Guru, our special Guru that we are connected with at the level of the heart. And we realize that the Guru is not a physical person, yet the Guru may manifest through a physical person. The Guru is an institution in the cosmic mind, we might say. It is the voice of cosmic intelligence coming to us in a form that is part of our lives or part of our world. So we look beyond the physical instrumentality of the Guru to the universal wisdom and grace. Guru Purnima is the full moon, of course, and it occurs in the Danu Rashi, Sagittarius, as it's said in the West, which is the Rashi of Guru, Brihaspati, Jupiter, and currently now, Guru Jupiter is located in Sagittarius, having just come retrograde back from Capricorn. Moon is there, of course, with the Purnima. Even Ketu is there with the eclipse. Ketu has inner insight. Ketu is moksha karaka. And a certain eclipse is going on that allows us to look within and to contact a deeper wisdom. So this is a very powerful time. And we need to understand who the Guru is and what is the Guru's role in our lives and in our universe as a whole. Guru also manifests through the Shastras, through the teachings, and the parampara of the Gurus is a living stream of wisdom and devotion. In fact, Bharat is the only country that has preserved this living Guru parampara in many different forms. That parampara has been broken throughout the world in almost every other country, intentionally, unintentionally, from external forces, from internal forces. So that parampara going back to rishis, yogis, gurus, from the beginning of time to cosmic mind, to Paramatma, is living and taking shape and form in various ways. It will never be broken. We may not see how it functions with our outer eye, but it is continuing to develop. And the gurus can also take birth in whatever time or place is necessary to sustain the parampara and the teachings in our human world. Upanishad is a very apt term. Upanishad is also said to be the Guhya Vidya, secret teaching, inner teaching, the Atma Vidya behind all the other Vidyas. Atma Vidya is the supreme Vidya. Whatever we study, even outer sciences, have no meaning except for the ultimate Atma Vidya, self-knowledge, pure consciousness, and recognizing that Atman in all beings. And the Upanishadic teachings are there to draw us in that deeper Atma Vichara, examination of our true nature, not simply our physical or mental nature, but our inner being beyond body and mind that takes us to the universal consciousness that links us with the universal Guru. So Upanishads represent that deeper tradition, questioning, but not questions done at a superficial level as mind or information, fundamental questions. So for example, the disciple comes to the Guru and asks his question. Guru says, go into the forest and meditate for a year, and I will give you the answer. You can't just find it in a book. You can't just Google the answer. That is information. Information that you pick up that is transient is of transient value only. Whatever you gain at a momentary level is of momentary value only. You have to live the wisdom, be part of the wisdom, share the wisdom, embody the wisdom. Then it can transform you. That is Upanishadic Vidya. Dialogue, discussion is there, deeper contemplation, meditation, but going back to our true nature, which embraces all, which includes all creatures, which is animate and inanimate, and which can guide the world as it can guide ourselves. And India, Bharat, has produced the gurus that can guide humanity. I hope today that the people, not only throughout the world, but the people in India itself will start honoring the gurus, particularly in academic, educational, and media realms, and other areas where the ahankar is very strong in our era, where everyone wants to express themselves and, you might say, tell everyone else what to do. The true guru teaches us what not to do and how to gain through inaction, through non-doing, and through the presence of being the Atma, the self that is the guide of all. Hari Om.
Hello.
See, this is the beauty of seeing. As we say, the role of the Guru is to make us see. How broadly and how beautifully Panditji have put, this is the benefit of having a real astrology person around. See, in Sahaj Smriti Yog, as we always say, suppose you are alone, you realize that you alone exist as part of the universe. How will you find out where are you? Vis-a-vis whom you will find your location when you are alone? He has given you the location today. Where are we? what is happening, what is the planetary position. So this is okay on a level where at least existence is visible. But same way, when you go, as I said, deeper question, today only that my column which appears in Dakshin Bharat Rashtramat, somebody asked this question about the quest. Guruji, when does my jigyasa becomes Brahma jigyasa? When my question becomes a real and deep question? And there is a long answer, it is published today. So yes, as he is saying that we are not asking, seeker means this has become the question of your heart, mind and soul, everything. Mind is a very superficial level. It in fact doesn't exist if we go deeper. But this is the mind alone which makes everything as if it is appearing to be there. Panditji has very clearly explained things that if seeker goes little beyond these superficial identities, there is no negation of identities. We are a family man, we are a national man, we have nation's identity, we have individual identity, family identity. So many identities are there. We can go through all of these. There is no, once you reach to the stage we call non-violence, ahimsa. Ahimsa paramo dharma it is called. But before reaching to the ahimsa, entry into the eternity is not there. Because until you find whole universe within you and yourself within your guru, it is impossible that you will realize who you really are. So ahimsa in real terms is only when you find the whole universe functioning within you. You can't be violent to yourself. Until that knowledge has not become realization, till then it is not possible to generate love. So lowest ladder in that tradition of seeking knowledge is love. It goes like that. Love, and then dharma, and then truth, and then non-violence. And then at that level we call Brahm, and then where it becomes Akshar, and then it goes to the Sanatana. But here there is a place for karma at a very critical point. I say Brahma and karma. They are very critical point is that one. That yagna we do whole life, yagna, tap and dan. But it is our karma which gives birth to the yagna, what kind of yagna we are doing. Today we are seeing, wherever we are seeing things like that, environmental issues are there, military issues are there, family issues are there. In this pandemic we have seen even those good professionals committing suicide and ugly things happening. In such a situation, we are saying this is not, as Panditji has clearly said, it's not bookish knowledge. It is the knowledge with which life needs to be lived. We say in this tradition, we say at least 50% part of your education should be how to live. And 25% of your education should be, it is a rough division, that how to make your living. And rest 25% should be for doing research in your calling. Because every calling which is related to the world, we call it avidya. But at one point of time when you are too deep into your avidya, because avidya is not something negative, you are catapulted to vidya field. And from there you go to the paravidya. So that happens. So if this way the education is devised today, then most of the problems of the world will be solved. Because first you solve every problem here, then you bring it here, and then you spread to the world. Because if you give it from here, it is difficult. If you get from here, it is easy. Because this is always open. And once this is open to anyone, that becomes your own, that you include that person, that inclusion happens. So in education, if this inclusion happens, then we move forward. So Panditji will speak about how the education is moving, because he moves around the world, how he's seeing education in the West, how this Sanatana tradition is being accepted in West, how are the things there, perhaps. And as you wish.
Yes, very, very important. Let me put that in a certain perspective. The higher knowledge, even we can define yoga as moment by moment awareness. To know what is appropriate, you have to know what is appropriate at any given moment. It is not, you can't act according to a formula. A formula may help, you have some ideas, but when you're actually doing something, whether it's creative work, whether it's interacting with people, you have to be aware. And even more so, we have to have self-awareness, which means we are aware of our own minds. It's easy to be aware of what other people are doing, but seeing what our own thoughts are doing, that is the more difficult thing to do. So what is education in the true sense is the self-awareness. And education in that sense is learning to be open to and understand the whole of life. We live in a universe pervaded by consciousness. Everything has consciousness, whether it's plants, animals, minerals, stars, sun and moon, atmosphere, whatever. Space itself, Chitakasha, is the space of consciousness. Our problem is we get trapped in our limited embodied consciousness, which is the mind. And that embodied consciousness then reflects our bodily identity, our sensory limitations, our limitations in time and place. And we get caught up in identity. We identify with the body and the mind. I am the body, I am the mind. As you said, there's nothing wrong with these identities, but the self, the inner being, is everything and nothing. It is pure identity without being identified with one thing against another. And that is where we need to go. All identities are like waves on the sea. They are part of the same water. The wave comes up, the wave comes down. The difficult part is we live in a society, in an era, in which that inner knowledge is not known. No one's teaching Atma Vidya, even at the highest university level. And people with even all the PhDs don't have Atma Vidya. In fact, sometimes the PhD brings more ahankara. In fact, as you know, in kleshas, pancha kleshas, avidya, sometimes called ignorance, creates asmita, ahankara, abhimana, arrogance. So those who have limited knowledge think they know. And those who have true knowledge know that they do not know, but they also know that the highest knowledge is not knowing. It is being, it is seeing, or what we call knowledge by identity. You can know the name and form of a person, a tree, anything, but knowledge by identity, you are one with that. You experience the same being. That higher knowledge doesn't have name, form, or number, but it has the pure identity. That is also the samadhi. So what is happening educationally today is people are getting full of facts and information. They're suffering from terrible mental indigestion, which is then further irritated by all the media problems and panic and other things that the media likes to project. So the true key to education is attention, concentration, dharana. If we have no power of attention, we do not know and cannot know anything real. Today, our attention span is milliseconds or, few seconds. That's not dharana shakti. That cannot create dhyana. That cannot create samadhi. That cannot give us direct knowledge. Direct knowledge is samadhi pramana. It is the knowledge born of unitary awareness. All the other knowledge of name, form, number, logic is on the outside. It's like knowing the clothes a person wears, but you don't know who they are. That is how we're looking at the world. Science knows so many facts and figures, but they miss the fact that the universe is also inside, that they are the universe, we are the universe. So what's happened throughout the world is people looking for the higher knowledge go into yoga, meditation, dharmic traditions, all these things, or higher healing, Ayurveda, all these Vedic knowledge systems are gaining respect. Not necessarily with everyone, but they do have a place in the culture throughout the world. We have seen how the Vedas are honored, Vedic teachings, yoga, Ayurveda honored in Russia, in Brazil, in North America, even in parts of Islamic world, even in China, not necessarily by the governments or by even the religious leaders, but the people who are seeking, the people who want to discover what is true directly rather than simply believe or accept what someone else has said. They are moving into this deeper knowledge. And again, since this deeper knowledge is cognitive, it's based upon perception, seeing, you have to see for yourself. You have to do a sadhana. You can't just pick it up in a book. You can't just hear it secondhand. However, the dialogue with one who knows has that power to awaken that inner knowledge. That is the role of the guru. Not to tell person what they should think, what is the truth, but to awaken the inquiry and awaken that unknowing through which everything is known, which is to know ourselves and to know that our inner being cannot be limited to any external form of knowledge or information. Hari Om.
See how beautifully he explained that behavior is the key today. And in Sahaj Smriti Yog, when our associate asks, Guruji, when we speak about spirituality, people behave this way and that, then I say, how do you behave? Because today, most of the issues revolve around language and behaviors. There is no religious issue if it is a language issue. As Pandit Ji said, the moment you give something a name and frame, trouble begins. If you are, even if your deity is same, but you conceive it some other way, with some other dimensions, and another, your fellow seeker, your brother or sister is seeing the same phenomenon, some other, with other attributes. So language, we say that Sanskrit is such an attributive language, which thing it doesn't consider. There's thing is only one, and they don't name it. By different names, they'll keep Ishvara, okay, the Purusha, if this becomes Ishvara, then it becomes Brahman, then they'll say, but never say what it is, who it is. They say Guru. Simply so that is so sensitive, you can't name it. The moment you name a thing, and it is open for contamination. You give it a form, there is a trouble. So behavior, but if you become embodiment of that, you find yourself part to be Amsha of Sanatana. That what is eternity, you are its Amsha. Then there is no issue because you will behave and there is no other for you. Your other disappears because you are behaving with yourself. You behave with others as you are behaving with yourself. So behavior is key there. In Sahaj Smriti Yog, we say very clearly this, that you are known by your behavior, whether you have understood, whether your sadhana is going correct, whether those things which we say, speak, have they become your part? Have you embodied those virtues? Then you will see the beauty. So it is not by instruction or something. It is by realizing that. And once you keep going deep and deep, then you see the wonder. How wonderful you are. When we say in the beginning only, this first paragraph of Sahaj Smriti Yog reads, going beyond concepts and conceptions, all beyond time and space. So yoga, as he said, it is not about some instructions. Basically, yoga word becomes from when the first union between time and eternity, yuga, from where yuga comes. And time came, and time, another name for death, kal, for chetana. Time is also, in English we have limited vocabulary. In Sanskrit, because being an attributive language, it has potential. But in some other language, it is difficult to translate that. So every guru have a different vocabulary just because his role is to make you understand, nothing to do with the language, because words are mere carriers. They cannot do much. And more so when this language level is bakri, not madhyama pasyanti or para. It is very limited transaction. It can work only as indication. That if we feel, no, here appears to be some knowledge, let me sit and go. That is how our gurus have been doing this. That sometimes in Upanishadic period, as he has mentioned, there have been instances where somebody, a seeker, a group of seeker goes to a guru in ashram for a year. They are just sitting and not talking anything. He says, well, I have come to ask. He says, well, if I feel like telling you, I will tell. If you feel like asking, you ask. So such openness, because nobody is claiming there anything. Say, when we are part of the one, we are the one, we can only live in oneness. So these days, all religious traditions trying to say oneness, but differences arise when it comes to living and behavior. Then this one-upmanship comes. My God is better than yours. Yours is this and this. So we don't say, don't give it. Start living. Go into the deeper dimensions of yourself and you will then learn to be compassionate, will learn to be loving. Automatically it will come into your personality because thou are that. That is your basic essentials. So all languages in sadhana, where is the problem? If we have to sum it up, we can say two things: essential and compulsory. Belief and trust, these are just opposites. If you live by essentials, you will not have to live under compulsions as most of the human beings are living today. Somebody is scared of what will happen to my livelihood tomorrow. Somebody is scared for something else because they are not paying attention to the essentiality. If you are merged into the essential, where is the death for you? Where is the problem for you? You verily become solution to everything. You are looking for the problem. Please, you articulate your problem and the solution is already there. Problem today, if anything, is it is that whole world is not articulating that this is the problem, and then solution is there. Just one glimpse we have seen here and now, but through a negative incident. Again, this pandemic, when it came, whole world said, yes, this is one problem. Then everybody put mask on their faces. Just within no time, everybody became one, but under compulsion. Not out of knowledge of divinity or something, under the threat of the death. But this has shown one glimpse, because today the beauty is that we can speak to one another across the globe. One time we can be heard by across the globe. So message has become, communicating our message, good message, has become so much easy today. And that is one good part of the technology, and there are many negative. But we take care of only good. We use good, then there will be no escape for negative. If the good technology is in the hands of wise people, there is no possibility of it going wrong. If that way we see that, look, this is possible, that people understand easily what is in their interest, then same thing we can use for the divine knowledge. And then once they move from belief to trust and start experimenting, doing sadhana, they will get transformed. That what is being told through Sanatana Guru Parampara, in fact, is truth. And truth everybody wants. Wise everybody wants to become. But because of the compulsions, they are in a position somehow not crossing over to the essentials. So from belief to trust, and from compulsion to the essential, if humanity makes this move, and we become somehow connected to that, and that is where the Sahaj Smriti Yog is. we remember 3-4 gurus because this tradition is there are infinite names, infinite people who are contributing. Roughly comes 2-3 people come to my mind. Adi Shankaracharya before Vedas, after Vedas, Vedic period, where he is telling this very clearly because at that time that rituals were overtaking. So he cleaned everything and he told clearly, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham, that thou art that eternal one. Simple word, simple message. Later comes Vivekananda. In another words, he says, same thing, universal consciousness, you are that. Daridra Narayan, Sarab the other, do the Paraseva, he comes. Now is the issue of living, how to live. And that is where the role of Sahaj Smriti Yog comes. And all the people, those who are following yoga, doing sadhana with their respective gurus, all those will come together and transform this how to live. So with these words, I will hand over to Panditji.
Yes, Guruji, you have covered almost everything and beyond everything, and what is relevant now and what is always relevant. So a few things come to mind over your response. One, this whole issue of language, and of course the Sanskrit is the mantric language, it is pranava, what we also call primordial sound. And it takes us to the infinite and the transcendent. Now, what is happening to language today? Language is compartmentalized. We have semantic wars where we're fighting over one word versus another word, as if that was a real thing. And our language is becoming more and more specific. People want to know exactly what something means. Yes. That is not language, that is not poetry, that is not mantra. Oh. The mantric language is to teach us how each thing means everything.
Correct.
So let us take even something simple like Agni. Oh, Agni is fire. Agni is the yagya fire. Yes. No, we have the Jatar Agni, digestive fire. We have the Pran Agni, the fire of the breath.
Yes.
We have Vak as Agni, speech. We have the seeing power as a type of Agni. Buddhi is a type of Agni. Okay. We have Chid Agni. You do your food mantras with Brahmagni. So the mantric is to take our language into the universal and break all barriers. Every devata has Sahasranama. It's not like Krishna's one person, Gopal is the second guy, and Govinda is somebody else altogether. So we're caught in these semantical differences because we believe external objects and identities have a separate reality. They don't. They have different appearances, like each wave is different, but the reality is the same ocean over all. So there are no names. Names are simply indications of the nameless.
Yes.
And who is the giver of the name? You are giving the name. And yet, what is the name? What is the nature? Nature is Atma, Purusha, consciousness, Satchitananda. Every name, no name, because it has all things and nothing. So that universalization of language we're seeking. But the modern culture is very specific. Scientists, a little term for everything. Each pathogen, each bacteria, each virus has to have its name. SARS, COVID-19. What does that tell you? It's just a name. It doesn't tell you anything at all, but it makes you think like something is, and then we get carried away by names. You have a name of a disease, hepatitis, diabetes. You get taken in by these. There's no such disease. All these diseases are dysfunctions of a living person. That living person is the reality. Diseases are the dysfunctions and nothing more. So the language we have the problem with. And then, the Atma is beyond speech and mind. What is intellect? Concepts. A concept is a kind of idea about something. It is not the thing itself. Name is not the thing itself. It's some indication. It's like a number. It's like a designation. It allows you to stand in a line and get something because you have a name. Or it gives you some name and fame. But the people who give you fame for your name don't know you at all, and you may be happy or unhappy or something else that will never cross their minds. So it's very important that we go back to that essence of seeing and knowing. What can technology do for us? Technology can remove our outer work and drudgery. So we have the time and the space for sadhana, for spiritual practice, for deeper inquiry. We don't have to be worried about where our food is coming, all these other things going on. And yet what's happening today is now that people have the technology that frees their time, they want to indulge themselves more entertainment, more movies, more travel, all the sensory things. And then we even have bigger sensory video, whatever it is, all two-dimensional, by the way, not even the third dimension is there most of the time. So that is the challenge. This technology will take us down unless we have the detachment and unless we use it for a deeper sadhana and also for healing people, healing the planet, connecting to the greater universe. Internet is nothing compared to the cosmic mind. You go into that samadhi, you can get all the sanyamas, you can get all the vibhutis, you can get all these experiences. The inner technology is more important, but it's not a technology of machines. It's a technology of knowing, feeling, seeing, being. Whatever you see, you are that. That being is within you, within all. Names and forms vary, beautiful. We need as many names and forms as possible, but they don't limit the reality. So we have to move beyond this limitations of technology, limitations of media. I often tell people that the world is Maya and the media is the Maya of the Maya. You're getting twice removed from the reality because you're relying upon somebody else's idea, opinion, or camera rather than experiencing your own life. And they will tell you who you are and how you should experience your own life. Behavior is the main thing. Behavior is living with the universal prana. It's being one with all. It's honoring nature. It's yajna, seeing the sacred in all beings, honoring the sacred everywhere. Differences are wonderful, but differences are not necessarily divisions. If our deity is a semantic deity, we are in trouble. If our deity, we should honor the divine in all names and forms. I'm a firm believer in Murti Puja. We should worship every form, but that form is a manifestation of a deeper prana and consciousness. You are not worshiping that. You are not following that alone. So that is the beauty of the Sanatana Dharma. It combines all of that, whole of life, all of culture, art, with the deeper Atma Vidya. That's where we need to go. Technology can be part of it, but we should use technology from inner awareness, not let artificial intelligence tell us what to do, because artificial intelligence can only make us artificial. Hari Om.
So, how clearly he has shown some glimpse that if you look at the Agni, see how many kinds of Agni we have come to know. Even as all of you know, because all the seekers connected are themselves very enlightened ones. The Rig Vedic mantra begins with Om Agni Mile. So beginning is everywhere. The knowledge we say fire, every sacred fire, we say fire sacred because of that reason, that it purifies. Tapa also is a kind of word we refer to, that some heat is generated when you are doing meditation. In real sense, if you do, but it is not a heat which puzzles you, it is a pleasant heat. So those are experiences. But as he says, Naam, what is there? Yeah, definitely. Look at Vamadeva, the name itself. We have a seer in the name of Vamadeva. And we call Shiva also Vamadeva. One of the five heads of him is called Vamadeva. That means there he becomes a Dakshinamurti. So Vams becomes a Dakshin. What is the same person? It is about being. One time he is Vam, another time he is Dakshin. Entirely opposite meaning for Vam and Dakshin. So there is no meaning, as we say in Sahaj Smriti Yog all the time, that words have no meaning except in a context, that what you are trying to indicate, and especially so when it comes to Vaikhari language. Very limited, but others should not get offended. No, I keep chanting, doing this mantra. You are doing from your inner being. You are involving yourself, so that energy is there. So you are using it as a vehicle, but in itself it is nothing. Like about your these three words we use, a yantra, mantra, tantra. Now look at a human from perspective of human frame. It's a yantra, the body itself. That is how Krishna is putting it. Yantra rudhani maya, brahmayani sarvabhutani yantra rudhani maya. Means those who are driven by maya or maya, like yantras, they are roaming. They are roaming because they are not finding correct direction. They are not coming out of maya. Now, if you do something rightly with it, same thing becomes yantra. The technology, the body becomes yantra. There is a deeper meaning into it, how it becomes. And that otherwise it is the system, tantra, functioning. We call in English tantra. That so means all the three tras, that is, if you make it ta, means that one. Natra means not that. So when that which is not there becomes that becomes tantra. You have become one with that. So you are no more there. So words are just to give an indication at this point of time how to recognize you. So we give it something. But deeper knowledge, once you go deep within your dimension, and until this has not somehow, we use the word somehow, as he says, Guru's role is to awaken that. And best example I can remember is that of the Yoga Vasishtha. When the Ram, who we now know as Bhagavan Ram, because of his character, because of his work, because of the kind of avatara we consider him, he was initiated by his Guru in the same way. And that is where the Yoga Vasishtha comes. And that is where this remembrance to me comes, that of somehow. There a thing comes Kaktaliya, that the crow alights and the wood falls. It happens. There is no relation between the two, but it happens at the same moment. So same way, here when we are initiated in the tradition, Sanatan Guru Parampara, it is you are woken up to towards your real self, where you keep doing your journey, and then you keep knowing not this, neti neti charai, I am not this also. That doesn't mean that you are not this, so you discard it. You know its right place, that as a physical being it is nourishing is necessary, as he has again earlier mentioned earlier, that the Guru in the Vedic Upanishadic period, they will tell, okay, go do this for 1 year, and then it will automatically, you will realize what he wants to teach. Only thing is, when you come back and you say, Guruji, this is what I realize, he will just corroborate or will say, okay, go again, you have not yet realized, or you have come against next lesson, move on. From body to prana to manas to you Vagyanmaya to Anandamaya to Atisayini, likewise you keep moving all 16 circles. Shodaskala Purusha, as we say. And then the Purusha becomes Ishwar, then you are somewhat, you realize who really you are. Till then, you are marred in ignorance. You are identifying yourself with the base, this very base level body. So once we start moving towards truth, once that sankalpa downs upon, that this one life anyway is there between when I am considering I am born, when I am considering there will be death, how best I can utilize this opportunity. Then every moment you will live as if there is no second moment. And that is where the eternity becomes movement and movement becomes eternity. Because you are not there at all. You are one with that who is. You are that. So that if we want humanity to reach to that exalted state of their own being, then we must, our children, ourselves, somehow make this kind of indication that they look back how rich tradition they have in knowledge. And this is of humanity. Vedas never claimed for, and they say aparushe, means when these are not even the purush, we call the soul when it is within the field bounded within body. So aparushe means from that state when it never realized as its entity as being soul. It has even gone beyond. In that sense, these are called aparushe. So you can't read Vedas and know what it is. You have to go through a guru, you have to understand properly and experience, and then that's how. So spiritual knowledge, that's why we say if this living tradition stays, then only the trust comes, because you can believe anything. But for trust, you will have to trust in another living person. And that is how humanity stays. Otherwise, they become scattered, because you may believe one thing and do something entirely else. I believe another thing and do entirely else, while we are wanting to do the same thing. But the trust is there, then we say, is it the meaning? This is how we should go. And we both say, yes, this is the way. Then there is unity. Then there is bliss. Then there is everything the way it should be. So in today's world, this need for right kind of education is very necessary. Otherwise, this linguistic divisions, the way we define things as a thing will create trouble, and then religions will also become a problem. If we give the right education, then the next generation, which will be more open, because next generation is always more open, because they are consolidate us only, replicating ourselves. So they are more open, and when through the knowledge they experience, oh, this is only one thing, then automatically these things will fall. It is otherwise, if you say, then it becomes a question of identity. Oh, you are attacking my faith, you are attacking this. Please, we are not attacking, we are accommodating, we are telling that in this everybody has a place, because until you reach to that state of non-violence in your consciousness, then you can accommodate the whole creation, not only earth from the time of Panjaya, this whole, that is what the Akhand Mandalaka, and you say in Vedas, mandals and mandals come. So there are various levels of consciousness in which one nestling into another, and that's how we say, Deiti, Deiti, Charai Vedi. You find yourself in finite, no boundaries there. Only there is a guru, that how you locate yourself. Whether in your infinity, you will not know where are you. So this is the potential of what is laying within you. Treasure is within you, but you are not finding a person who can guide you to your own treasure. And you are running across whole world as a pauper. You are running that no, this compulsion is there. That is why I can't be spiritual, because you are not trusting. You are just believing something. So if right education is given, then all boundaries someday will disappear, and then as we say, the intelligence will shine forth as wisdom in every individual and universe. This way, at consciousness level, become one, and that will be exalted world. So that is where we are standing. And as Shastri ji is saying, he is looking, see, we are sitting in opposite direction, looking into the same direction. So it is possible. From there, we feels very one with him. How? Through knowledge only, because he chose some sadhana path. So we don't feel any difference. So why cannot it happen across whole? What are the different things which are making us different from one another? In negative sense, I feel none. There are only positive, and diversity is a good thing. You enjoy diversity when you are nestled within your real dimensions. You love every flower, you love every particle, because they are nestled within you, and you love yourself in that sense, but not as yourself. That is how we say in Sahaj Smriti Yog that there are at least 4 levels you understand, basically, that body, mind, self, and soul. Then at least some kind of anchor you have found. Because the more you live in your life, truth will down upon from within, and that will make you dance. That is what we call soul dance. So if you want your children to be happy forever, then please guide them properly that this cardinal pleasure which they are looking for is not going to give them any long lasting pleasure even. That is where yoga comes. That is how. So there are ways to guide or indicate them towards yoga. And then real sukh, we say, is comes. That, but we say no, that we should eat what needs to be eaten. We should listen to what should be listened to. That way, yogo bhavati dukkha. That is how yoga becomes a reliever of the pain or dukh, or it ushers in the real sukh. Say, that is how it is. It has been told from the eons, yuktahar biharasya yukta chestasa karmashu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. So what is being told here is how to live, how to sleep, how to sit, how to eat, how to speak, all those things. Now, how can we divide it into religions or any other identities? It is simple behavior. So if tell this to our children, maybe we will see a better future. So with these words, I hand over to Panditji.
Yes, Guruji. Yes, this is a very important point. And what we need to understand is that the Upanishad and the Vedic yogic way is all about investigation, questioning, and we might even say research. Upanishads begin with questions, end with questions, even up to who am I? They don't say, I believe in this and I believe in that and I don't believe in that. They say question. And we have to say today that even though the science questions the outer world, the science is not questioning the inner factors properly. And we are not teaching our children to properly investigate their own reality. For example, if you want to get the job, you have to investigate what is the best possible job. Medicine, you have to investigate what is the disease involved. Whatever we do in life, we're trying to find what is better, what is truth. But we never question the fundamental factors. Who are we? What is the mind? What is prana? How is the universe working? What is the origin of things? Fundamental questions we are not asking, and we are not investigating appearances. We are accepting appearances as real. What is Maya? Maya is accepting the appearance is real. Maya is not the reality. So what happens is we see all these images through the senses and we take them to be real. But if we look deeper, behind all these sensory images is sound, light, color, shape, name, form, all these things. We go to a deeper level, we find the rasa, we find the essence, we find the Satchidananda, we find the being everywhere. So then we don't see the Maya. It's like if someone goes into a room where everything's made of gold, they say gold. They don't say table, a chair, whatever ornament else there may be there. We don't see the reality. We are caught in the appearances. And modern education makes us more appearance-oriented and more projecting an appearance of ourselves rather than our inner being. We emulate people who are famous for doing things rather than people who have some inner integrity or character or realization. So we need to teach in education fundamental questions. Seek, find out more deeply. What are our thoughts? What is the consequence of worrying all the time? It's a pathogen, it's a toxin you're creating. Yeah, you don't know because it's something that you're not taught to question. We don't question our own thoughts. We don't question our emotions. We let anger take us over. We let fear, desire take us over. We don't say, why is this emotion there? It's not me. It's going to come and go. It has something external to it. It's not my true inner nature, all the rest of it. So this level of investigation must go deeper, and children must be taught not simply to question numbers and how big, how small, how near, how far, all of that, but what is the deeper reality? We live in a world of dreams and rainbows and illusions. We also live in wonderful appearances of nature. What is the reality of the mountain? Reality of the mountain is Lord Shiva. The reality of the mountain is not just some type of rock and some type of plant and having certain elevation, being located in a certain place. Those are all the appearances. So we need to move beyond appearance to the inner reality, starting with ourselves. Body is an instrument of activity, it's an appearance. Mind is an instrument of expression, it is an appearance. Who is the being behind the appearance? We are looking at the clothes and we are leaving out the real person. What if somebody is unwell? You have to give them a medicine. You can't say, oh, you're unwell, I'll buy you some new clothes, I'll get you a new car. That's all on the outside. So too, we have this malaise of ignorance, and we're trying to solve it by outer knowledge, by giving people more statistics, more information, more burden for the mind to digest. But what we really need to do is cultivate that inner knowing, inner investigation. Don't accept the appearance as real. People aren't always what they appear to be. Situations aren't always what they appear to be. Advertising, we know, has all the illusions built into it. Politics is full of propaganda. You have to look within, discern, viveka, vairagya. We need to cultivate that inner investigation, not just simply this better calculation of outer appearances, because we're just measuring shadows when we do that. We need to return to the light, which is the light of knowing within. Hari Om.
So, looking at the time, our Panditji is sitting at 12 something, means midnight, he has crossed there. So, this satsang, he says, endless, it will keep happening. So now, with these, that the way he has summed it up very well, that Raso Vaisa, that is what we say, that until you realize the Rasha of Ishwar within you, the ultimate within you, that is where your trust begins in you. And then will you decipher what is Maya and what is not. So now I will hand it over to Elizabeth Merlin so that she can open up for the questions. So your queries, those who are waiting, we will take up. It's open, floor is open for questions and queries. Hari Om.
Thank you, Guruji. The first question is from Kavita ji, very pertinent to today's occasion. So many gurus are there. How to select right guru for our life?
Whom she wants this to answer? First, let.
It is addressed to Guruji.
Okay. See, Guru is not a person, and there is no Guru without a person. Both things are there. So once we have to prepare ourselves, our heart should be open. We should go wherever we feel like that there seems to be light and associate with that person for some time. Ask your question. As a tree is known by its shade. If you sit under a tree, if you feel the shade, then you're clear that tree is a shady. You need not look how tall it is, what it is. Shade is there. Same way, if your questions, you find that your heart is pleased, because ultimate instrument to decide what is truth and what is not is your heart, which is within you. So first prepare our heart and move, go do some satsang, ask your question, but don't delay. That is what says Subhasya Shigram. And there is very little space between. We say Subhasya Shigram and Jaldi ka kaam Saitan ka. That means it was Panditji in my local language, Hindi, which is my mother tongue, second part of it. That if you hurry, we say it is satanic, but fast, quick is the work of divinity. So if anything has to be done good, we should make quick decisions and move on, because the moment may go by then. So by going and associating, by opening ourselves and getting our answers. And that is how we recognize who our Guru is. It is always seeker's person. There is no person as Guru who can claim I am a Guru. It is seeker who makes somebody Guru, assumes that this is my Guru, from here I am getting light. Because in real sense, Guru is doing nothing. He's just there, that's all.
Thank you,
Yes.
Guruji. The next question is from Anjani Pandeji. She's from Ayodhya and is working as a software architect in Bangalore. Karma is the universal principle of cause and effect. Our actions, both good and bad, come back to us in the future, helping us to learn from life's lessons and become better people. So her question is, why is it so difficult for many people from different communities, religion to understand or accept this principle?
Would Panditji, you would like to? Panditji.
Yes. Karma is a very, very, very important idea to understand. And karma is affecting us from previous lives, not just from the present life. And karma is not just ordinary cause and effect. Karma means there is some residue or energy that continues after an action is done. So karma is also about the subtle understanding of energy. And we also have individual collective karma. And we also have karma yoga. And I'd like to define karma yoga in a slightly different way. Sometimes we say karma yoga is you act without concern for the results. I don't think that's true. What I would say is that karma yoga is about the pursuit of excellence moment by moment, but pursuing excellence as an offering to the divine, not for your personal gain. So you want the best possible to occur, but from that inner perspective. If we have that type of karma yoga, then we transcend karma. Karma only is a bondage when we identify with the karma, when we seek a personal reward rather than we do the action for its own purpose. So what's happened today is our actions have all become motivated, numbered, priced, or even looked at through a camera, so that we're no longer being spontaneous. We're no longer connecting with the inner essence. And the real truth of karma is everything is an unfolding of divine grace and wisdom. And we need to accept that flow and work with that flow and honor that flow rather than trying to control it. And recognize that karma is inherent ahimsa. You don't do violence because no creature wants to be harmed, not because some God says, do not this, do not do that. So that respect, we have to honor dharma in order to transcend karma. And we have to honor our swadharma to understand our proper karma. And our swadharma is always some aspect or form of sadhana. Hari Om.
Thank you, David ji. The next question is from Ramachandra ji. The purpose of present-day education system, Vidyarjane, is ultimately for Vittarjane, money earning, through skill sets instead of Jnanarjane, which is the knowledge earning. So how a true disciple seeking Jnanarjane as per Sanatana Dharma get it in the present education system and lead a life as per that without Vittarjane, which is earning money? Is it because of this that the Sanatana Dharma is deteriorating? What is the solution for this in present day scenario?
Yes, it is to me. Is
Yes,
it
Guruji.
to? Yeah, okay. See, it is not so. As you know, Purusharth Chatushtay is already there in Sanatana Parampara. That means we are supposed to Artha, Dharma, Kama, Moksha. All are there. So earning, we have to do right way. As I said in the beginning, that how to relate. See, what is the role of the Guru, we say, is that of eternal knowledge, make it relevant to the present moment. That is where how to behave, uphold that true Swadharma, that knowledge which is eternal, how to uphold that in present moment, bring it into your behavior. So I said today's, looking at today's circumstances, it is important that 50% of our, it is not that mathematical, as we say, that 34 and 3 by 4th Brahma is not known, only 1/4 is manifested. This is not clear mathematicals. It is just way of saying that if 50% of our education part today is devoted to how to live, 25% for earning living, and rest 25 for earning knowledge. If this proportion is maintained properly in today's education. Now you say where to begin? You have told me idea about where to begin. If you are a parent, then you have to begin by investing in the education of your child, asking for this kind of educational system, giving your opinion in your school. That is the way I want my child to be educated. If you yourself are a student, then you see how you can implement wherever you are in your position, that I should devote my energies in this proportion so that I turn out to be a balanced human being. So that is how we do not neglect anything, we do not negate, it is not possible. You have to put them at right place. This order of priorities is the issue, as we have mentioned in the brochure of this Darpan Foundation Ashram's brochure. On first page you will find this problem is order of priorities. Brahma is a word, Brahm is a word, and Kram is a word. If Kram is lost, then Brahma becomes Brahm. That means Brahma becomes illusion if the order is lost, if it is not correct. So you have to put things in right order. Where? In your heart. So that will come out of your behavior. You will know exactly this moment what you should do. So that is the real yoga, and that is how you become from yoga ruh. There are two positions, yoga ruh and yoga ruh. Guru, whom we assume Guru, we say he is yoga ruh, and we ourselves who consider disciples, because disciple is a stage. It begins from the initiation. Discipleship is the 10th stage. Everybody who initiates doesn't become disciple the day one. It is an attainment you get. Purnameva vashishyate, until you become complete. That I don't know what exactly discipleship is. So if that proportion is maintained in your, then this can be solved. Artha, dharma, kama, moksha. This is the order. Without getting to the artha, you cannot perform dharma. Vidya dadati vinyam, vinyadayati patrattam, patrattam dhanapnoti, dhanata dharma, tatah sukham. So if your dhana is going into dharma, then only sukham apnoti, otherwise not. So this is the way to go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. The next question is from Subramani Reddy ji. Varna Vyavastha, if damaged, Krishna and Gita says he will be reborn to set it right. Given the kind of abuse it gets today, how do we understand this?
That Shastri ji will take
Yes.
that.
Yes, there's a misunderstanding even of terms. Varna is not caste. Varna is not even jati. Varna is certain levels of behavior, or as we say. And what is Varna? What does Purusha Sukta teach us, first of all? Purusha Vedam Sarvam. Everything is Purusha. Everything is one. So out of that unity of being, there are different functions. At the body level, you have arms and legs and eyes and ears. In society, not one person can do all the jobs. You have to have a doctor, a lawyer. You have to have a teacher. You have to have someone working in the fields. You have to have all these functions done. But you honor all the functions, and there is one being. So actually, Varna system is very ecological. It teaches us that we need a proper diversity of function according to a unity of being. And also it teaches us that the more evolved a person is, the more different functions they can do. For example, working the earth is not simply, is probably one of the greatest things you can do, because you're connecting to the whole of nature through doing that. So what happens is there's been a politicization of some of these ideas and distortions about them. Very few people are trying to be true Brahmins, for example, or no one's being criticized for doing that. And we need those dharmas. You need a Brahma dharma, you need a Kshatriya dharma, you need a good Vaishya dharma, you need a Shudra dharma. We have to know how to serve, we have to know how to protect. All these things are necessary in the society, but these varnas shouldn't be limited to family or birth alone. They should be part of the society, they should be shared, and they should be honored, because they are all part of the same Purusha. And it is the unity of the Purusha, even the unity of society, unity of family, a unity of humanity that is important. But for that, different functions must be there, different functions must be honored, and different functions sometimes have a hierarchy. The guru needs to be honored. The one who knows has to be honored. At the same time, in a different circumstance, you need the kshatriya, you need artha, you need wealth, you need all these things. So we need a complete society, and honoring all the different parts of the human Purusha, the social Purusha, and ultimately accepting the Purusha in all of nature as well. It's not just a question of humanity being one, but the universe being one. Vedic Purusha is in the sun, the moon, the stars. It's not just in human beings. So Shri Veda Purushaya Namaha.
Very good.
Thank you, Dr. David. This will be the last question from Nagbhushan ji. These days, we see Guru Shishya Parampara is reducing in all fields. What is the remedy?
First of all, we have to understand this, what is Guru Shishya Parampara. So it begins from Guru, we refer only to the spiritual Guru. Others are teachers. It doesn't mean that teachers should not be respected. They must be, from anyone, from anywhere. If I am gaining something, taking something, gratitude should be the first thing which should come. So if this is spiritually, if it is first, you put the first priority where from the source is. That is where the spiritually, if we are not valuing spirituality, then that decadence is shown in other places. That is reflected through other, because everybody then they think this is Guru, this is not the way. There are teachers, like in Jain Parampara we say, Namo Arihantaram. Then we first say, Arihant, those who have gone up. Namo Sabbi Sahunam, last is this one. And in between is Aryanam. In between is the Acharyas. So that way others, those who are giving you some knowledge, they will value if you value yourself, the ultimate. That yes, it is flowing like this. Flow chart is like this. First things first, as we say, it's a problem of order. We have to humbly accept our nothingness, that we are nothing in this whole creation, this whole universe. Only when we realize the nothingness, then we are full. That is how the shlok comes. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. So look the beauty. You full and emptiness both become same there. If teachers in their behavior have this humility, then no person who is learning from that can be against that kind of a teacher. So humility, if always we say here, we always say disciple. We never even utter in that sense the word Guru. We say a disciple or a guru, the way that we say is that how a disciple is known, how many gurus he has created. This is the way to put it. So we don't say that guru. We say we know a disciple, how many gurus he has created. That is the spiritual parampara. So if we have humility as teachers, wherever we are teaching, for the ultimate Guru Shishya Parampara, then who are under us, they will also value us. Because value, as we say, mulya, that comes the word from mula, a root. Our mool is divine. Urdhva mula adhoshaka. That is how. So if This is the remedy. If we value our values, we uphold them. Definitely, those where the children are coming as students, they are our children only from society. How can they go? What they are seeing at home, they are behaving that in schools and colleges. So behavior, behavior, and behavior is the key and the remedy. Hari Om. So, yes.
Thank you, Guruji. Uh, we are 3 minutes away from the end of the session. We'll finish now. Malin,
Yeah. Yes.
go ahead, Malin. We'll
Yeah.
conclude the session.
Sure. Thank you, Guruji, and thank you, Dr. Frawley, for this insightful Upanishad. It was clearly a spiritual extravaganza for us seekers. I thank the audience for their gracious presence and participation. Please do share your feedback via Facebook. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pandit Ji, for being awake so late in the night. And with these words, I will say, please go and have a good sleep, because tomorrow morning again Pandit Ji's work start. And we have to keep working for Shartha. What else is there? It was very good experience for this Upanishad.
Thank you, Guruji and Pandit Ji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very, very important understanding of the
Yes. Thank you. Very good.